the president just signed an executive order. And it might be a little confusing to some people, especially the portion that he said would uh, regarding evictions, as mainly the evictions of tenants. Now, I used to be, for many years, a tenant organizer. And I lived in public housing once upon a time. And I want to make sure that people understand that the executive order that he just gave actually does not address tenants with an eviction. If you have an eviction, this memorandum that he put out will not stop your eviction. Your eviction is going to go through unless you intercede yourself and make preparations to stop your own eviction. And you're going to have to be rather clever. You're going to need to look at your documents, mainly your I don't know why it's slipping my mind, but your lease. That's it. You need to look at your lease and read it, and it might be written in um, terms that's rather difficult, but that's okay. You signed it, and you're going to understand some things. And I can actually just relate to Louisiana tenant law. They can usually evict you for two reasons. Number one, you didn't pay the rent. Or number two, you violated some provisions of the lease. And it's usually number one. And that's what we're going to deal with tonight. You, because of COVID-19, let's say you have fallen behind in your rent. Maybe you lost your job, or your hours were cut, or some situations, your business that you work for didn't go back. When the state opened up phase one, or let's say you were self-employed, and you were self-employed in a business that no longer exists, whatever, you're not able to pay, or you haven't paid your rent. Now, there was a provision that held up, had a moratorium on evictions for 120 days. Most landlords during that period of time, if you didn't start making some provisions with them on how you're going to pay the rent that you had already missed, I assure you that they were making preparations on how to get their money or get you out of their place. Now, that 120 days um, expired, and actually, I think it expired like July the 15th or something like that. And so from that day, let's say it was July the 15th, your landlord had 30 days to give you notice. In Louisiana, that's how it would have run. And so it's now August. And your 30 days are quickly coming to an end. So if they haven't already, or whatever your state's uh, um, next time it was that they could start filing in court to evict you. And maybe they've given you a provisional eviction because, they were counting from before the moratorium. Whatever. The presidential executive order will not help you unless maybe, and I do say maybe, you need to check. You live in public housing, you have a Section 8 voucher, you're in property that your mortgage is FDA or FHA, something like that, where the federal government is directly involved in paying some of your rent or subsidizing your rent, or somewhat how the federal government is involved. And then it might not work then, but they're going to pause a minute to go over the executive order, because the executive order is really saying that if it is determined by the housing authority, the federal housing authority, that that it would make a community spread, likely to make a community spread of COVID-19 by them evicting you and all others in your class, then they can make a determination not to evict you, or it's a recommendation not to evict you. But it's not no hard and fast, put the brakes on, there's a moratorium like it was last time. That is not what this is, the best I can understand it. That is not what this executive order does. And so just put in your mind right away that it's not a freeze. And as soon as you can, you need to read your paperwork and start making some phone calls and writing some letters, if you will, in order to address your housing situation, because it's serious. Now, if you live in I'm going to say this, if you live in a apartment complex or something like that, I would, talk with my neighbors, and, you guys kind of put a concerted front. Your landlord most likely does not have a whole lot of cushion. And so you're going to have to appeal to his thought process that we're in a pandemic and it's going to be very hard to refill, your apartment, to find new tenants that have secure jobs. Because even if let's say they work for your city, they have less money. Let's say, they work for your, it's not many places that's not really, really affected. I guess if you work for the electric company, you probably don't have too much problems. But even if you work in a refinery, people are not driving as much as they used to, et cetera, et cetera. So they're not, using the products. Maybe if you're in the food industry, I don't know, the grocery store business, that might be a kind of secure venue to be in. Well, whatever the case, I would first of all petition the landlord for myself, but simultaneously, and don't hold up with petitioning for yourself. Simultaneously, would be talking with my neighbors to see how we might stand together in this situation. And but whatever you do, don't stand still thinking that all is well, because that is not the situation. I know that some people were like, "Hallelujah!" when they heard that the president was saying, among the four things he said something about evictions. You were really happy about that, but you can't just stand on that, because there is more to the story. And actually, the other piece to that is that you really need to be calling your elected officials to say, "What do I do?" As well as calling, if you don't have a relationship with your landlord, now is the time. And I'm going to say, don't talk too much, don't talk too little, and don't never say, "I don't have a dime," because that's not going to be helpful. You need to be thinking very creatively as to how you can um, supplement your income. Or because, of course, that $600 federal supplement has, that's not going to be there. It's not there. It has expired. And if, as you heard, the president was saying um, that the enhanced unemployment, that he'll do $400, or the federal government will do $400. Well, that's not exactly how that's going. He's actually, in his executive order, um, suggesting that the federal government have $300 uh, enhancement to unemployment, and that the state give $100. So, and the states are highly, they were proposing and asking for federal assistance, because they've been hit hard by this COVID-19. Now, the other 3 points of his executive order had to do with student loan deferment, and that might be a real, real good one. And this radioactive payroll tax deduction thing, I don't know how that's going to work for people with $100,000 a year or less. They somehow will be paying less taxes for, I don't know for how long. Some people are very suspicious that that may be a way to defund Social Security. I can't really um, comment on that much, but that portion for the eviction, that's not a moratorium like last time. It's not a freeze on payments. It's not a freeze so that it's not a freeze on evictions. It's not that. It's not that. You can't do a sigh of relief yet. So that, I know that's not no good news, but I hope that it'll be news that you can use, and that you won't, be unaware of actually where you stand. Oh, and I just want to say, some people are saying, cancel the rent, cancel the rent. This is America. It is a capitalist society, and canceling the rent is not something that um, will quickly or easily happen. So I'm going to suggest that you be prayerful, that you think of ways that you can make money, use your talent, God given talents to try to make money during these trying times. This is not the time to just be sitting twiddling your thumbs. This is the time to be innovative and to have your ears that can hear. Otherwise, you can get caught up in a trick bag, because I assure you that the people with money are thinking, thinking, thinking. And what they're thinking is how to get more money. And they're able to get more money when they're able to acquire, when people that don't have money fail in the things that they have to do to stay afloat. So be prayerful, be thoughtful, be smart. Bye bye.